Moments that matter.
Moments that matter.
Moments that matter.
So welcome to this special program maintenance edition of the Moments That Matter podcast series. And today we're talking to Ben Fakalata, who is an office assistant within Programmed and has been stood down from his role during these COVID times due to the fact that the majority of his tasks that he is required to complete as part of his role take place within the office environment. And with so many people working from home, Ben hasn't been able to come into the office and complete his role. Now, one of the reasons we're talking to Ben today really is to once again promote the inclusion and diversity value that Programmed has. And that's relevant here because Ben does have a disability, but I think it's been important, and certainly the sense I got from talking not only to Ben but also to his manager Charlene McEwen, who you'll hear as part of this podcast, is that Programmed as an organisation and the people within Programmed haven't concerned themselves with what Ben might not be able to do, but they've certainly looked at what he is able to do and what he can bring to the table as an employee within the team. And what you'll get from this conversation is Ben has brought so much by way of not only the work that he does and the work ethic that he displays in carrying out his role, but also the positivity that he brings to the table and the way that his outlook on life can create an atmosphere where people can perform at their best. And I think that is one of the things that really underpins the inclusion and diversity side of it, is not only about giving people like Ben a chance and the positive impact that that can have on his life, but it's in turn the very real benefits that he brings to the table for the people he works with and the organisation as a whole. So I've broken this podcast up into three sections. The first section is a scripted conversation that I had with Ben in terms of I had provided him some questions in advance and it was a much more structured conversation. The first part, we're then going to hear from Ben's reporting manager, Charlene McEwen, and she touches on what he brings to the team. And then we're going to have an unscripted conversation with Ben where he again elaborates on the importance of his role within Programmed, but he also touches on a personal project that he's been working on, which hopefully we can all continue to follow during this COVID period. So I hope you enjoy my conversation today with Ben Fakalata. Well, Ben, thanks for your time today. I'm going to get you to start out by talking me through what your role is at Programmed.
I'm an office assistant at Programmed. Some of my jobs are doing cleaning the kitchens and meeting rooms, fill the printers with paper, collect the mail. I also do fleet admin with my work colleague Ronnie.
Describe to us how your disability affects your day-to-day abilities in the office.
Sometimes it's hard because I only have one good hand, so sometimes doing manual tasks is difficult. It also takes time for me to be able to learn new things and become more efficient at doing them. I take my time with things to make sure I'm doing them properly. I have to practice to get good at it. Sometimes it's harder for me to make friends and people sometimes judge me or will stare at me because my disability. That takes me, it makes me feel sad sometimes.
What was it like, Ben, trying to find employment with a disability?
It was hard to find employment with a disability. It took me 4 years to get this job. I had to do a lot of training and different type of courses and work at Coles supermarket and other work experience that was unpaid for a long time to gain experience that in the end helped me to get this job. It's important that workplace, a camp, or a camp, or different types of people to work, including people with disabilities. Otherwise, it is too hard to get a job.
How did you get your job at Programmed?
I got my job at Program through help through job support. I went for an interview and met my new bosses. I had a trial to see if I could do the work. It was a very nice place and the people were friendly. The job support helped me to learn the job and provide on-site training each day until I got confident. Program understood it can take me a bit longer to do things because of my disability, but I always get the job done.
How has your life changed since gaining employment?
I feel proud to have a job, but now with COVID, I feel sad and worried that I might not go back. When I was in the office every day, I learned new skills and had something to do every day. I like meeting new people and having chats and getting dressed up and going into work. It makes me feel really good. It's also good to get paid each fortnight and to the more important to be more independent.
What is the main thing you feel you contribute to Programmed as part of your role there?
I help others to get the job done. I feel like I'm part of a team. I'm doing the things to help other people.
And what's it been like for you to have to stop work during this COVID period?
It's been hard. I don't know when it's over. I have been trying to stay busy and have been doing personal training, DJ lessons online. I also take my dog Ralphie for a walk twice a day. I have been feeling pretty sad and lonely sometimes. The days are pretty long with not much to do. I try to call my friend Arthur and my family for chats. My biggest worry has been that I might not get back to program and see my work friends. I feel sad about it. I wish I could know when it will be over, but we can't, and that's hard.
And how have you stayed connected to people during this time?
I regularly call my supervisor Charlene to stay in touch. She's been really great and supportive. I also call job support to keep them up to date. I also text my work friends to see how they're and keep in touch. I also FaceTime my other friends and family. Sometimes we play trivia, which is really fun.
Well, we heard Ben there reference his manager Charlene, so we're going to talk to her now. And that's Charlene McEwen, who's a group HR advisor within Programmed, and obviously serves as Ben's supervisor within his role. And in the brief conversation that we have together here, she touches on the positivity that Ben brings to the team and just how much the program gets out of having him around the office. Charlene, discuss your experience of seeing Ben's strong desire to get back to work and loving that he is employed, and how that highlights the importance of purpose and belonging within Programmed.
Yeah, look, it's been very difficult for Ben, like being stood down during COVID, and it was not an easy decision to make as his manager. However, during the last 6 months, Ben will regularly check in with me and vice versa. And I guess his enthusiasm to get back to a routine and a job is something he's extremely excited about.
And how difficult has it been for Ben to be away from the office, and how important have the check-ins been that you've made with him periodically through that time?
Oh, look, the check-ins are just, he loves hearing from me and anybody else in the team. And as you can imagine, it's not been the most pleasant of times for anyone, I guess. However, it's extremely pleasing to see positivity, enthusiasm for Ben to return back to the office, which is why it's so important for us to constantly reach out to each other, irrespective of the circumstances. I think it's very important that we maintain our social connection, to not let those tumultuous times affect our mental well-being.
And do you think it has been more of the social connection with Ben that he's been missing from the work, or is it also that sort of sense of belonging that he gets from
I think it's everything. I think it's the purpose, the connection. I think, he really enjoys his job, and his enthusiasm on a daily basis is infectious throughout the whole building.
What do you think Ben brings to the team environment himself when he's in the office?
Oh, God, his positive vibes, his enthusiasm, his passion. He's always being super engaged with anything that he does. And this positivity really brings motivation for everybody in the office.
And is that something that you think, when you look at Ben's experience, do you feel like program gets as much out of Ben, if not more, out of Ben being there, if not more than what Ben gets out of from being a part of the team?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
So I think it was important to reiterate there from Charlene that inclusion and diversity is not just a box to tick for program. It's something that the organisation lives within its employees and across its organisation on a day-to-day basis. And I think there's no better way of seeing that than by seeing the effect that having someone like Ben work in his role as an office assistant provides not only to him, but I think just as importantly to the program team as a whole. Showing people the level of positivity and work ethic that Ben brings to the table has a flow-on effect right throughout the organisation, and that's why it's an important value not only to have from an aspirational point, but to live up to across everything that you do. And the final part of our podcast today, I'm going to link back to Ben there, and this is the unscripted part of our conversation where we touch on, again, some of the important aspects of his role at program and what that provides to him, and indeed what he provides to the team himself. But also we touch on a project that he's been working on during the COVID period that I'm hoping you're going to be able to check out for yourself once you finish listening to this podcast. You said there you're learning DJing. So what sort of music do you like playing when you're doing the DJing?
Hip hop and R&B.
Do you have any? Do you think you can make a career out of that?
I'm trying to. I'm also learning how to make beats.
Oh, okay. Can you do some beats now for us?
I'm in the process of making one at the moment.
Okay, so and that's using your own voice. That's not using the computer or anything like that.
No, it's doing it on the computer.
Do you feel like working at Programmed has helped increase your confidence to the point where you would take something like the DJing on now?
Yes.
What sort of skills do you think that you've improved from working at Programmed?
Communications, teamwork, reliability, time management, I guess.
Yeah. And you said reliability. How many days off have you had since you started with Programmed before COVID hit?
I'm not sure about a couple of days off.
Not too many yet. Because they did tell me you're a very reliable staff member. You're generally always there at the office.
Yeah.
So have they given any indication how much longer, or it's just going to be when COVID's finished, you're going to be able to head back into the office?
They said roughly once COVID is over, once it's safe to go back, I guess, is my understanding. And Charlene said maybe January.
Okay, so fingers crossed for January.
Yeah. But we have to wait and see with if we can or if we can't.
And are you gonna, when you finished your beats, are you gonna share them with the people at Programmed, the workmates at Programmed?
Yeah, I I got a SoundCloud that I post occasionally. I've
Oh,
got a
okay.
SoundCloud account.
Yep.
So, like, if you log in today, you can see all my different what I've made so far.
And they just search for your name to find that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure we link to that within this podcast as well.
It's not my actual name, so it's a different name.
Oh, okay. Do you want to give the name now?
It's DJ Benny Beatz.
Okay.
So BENNY and then space BEATZ.
I thought that might be with a Z.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll pass that on. We'll get everyone that at least they can stay connected to you. If not in the office, they can stay connected to your beats online.
But I haven't posted in like a year.
Oh. Well, now we've given you something to do now because you need to get on and make some posts.
Yeah.
Okay. People will be on there expecting to see something from DJ Benny Beatz in the next few weeks, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So there you have it. I think you can probably get a sense from that conversation that Ben is a little bit more knowledgeable of the DJ industry and hip-hop music, etc. than what I am. It's good to see that he's got a project ongoing that is fueled by that passion that he has for music. And I've been on and checked out, he does have the DJ Benny Beatz page within SoundCloud, so I encourage everyone listening to this podcast within program, reach out, make a connection. You can actually follow Ben's work there, and hopefully that'll inspire him to maintain an interest in that and give him something to do outside of the office. And hopefully early in 2021 we'll be able to see Ben back in the office situation, back at the job he loves, and see his smiling face again around the office. Because one of the great parts of doing this podcast was that normally I don't have the video on, but we had the video on for this particular podcast. So when I heard Ben start talking about his music, his face really did light up. And that's one of the reasons you'll hear a few chuckles myself, because seeing how happy he was to talk about that and seeing that big smile that he had really served to brighten my day as well. And certainly it highlighted to me what Charlene was talking about in terms of the positivity that Ben brings to the office environment when he's able to be present, and obviously when on a situation like this working from home. And I think it's also a message that we can take on days like World Gratitude Day to be thankful for what we have and look around and see everything that you are thankful for within your own life. And that can certainly apply to the experiences we've had with Ben, not only across the course of obviously this podcast, but of the work that he's done and the work that he'll continue to do as part of the program team. So I thank you for your time again today for this special edition of the Moments That Matter podcast, and I do look forward to joining you again soon.